Welcome back to Fast Market here on the Schwab Network. Let's bring on our next guest for our cash tag segment. It's going to be Landon Swan, co-founder of LikeFolio. Welcome back to the show, Landon.
Thank you. It's great to be here.
All right, Landon. So we're talking PayPal. This has been a severe underperformer for the last couple of years. It seems like they've got the consumer base across all their different platforms that they have, Venmo and the others, over 400 million. But it just seems like they can't right the ship. It seems like the free cash flow is still going okay. But what's the problem here, according to your data? Is it just people are disengaging with it, even though they might be part of the platforms? Maybe they're just not using them as much.
I don't know about that. So, I mean, when you look at their last earnings report, there's a decline in the number of active accounts. But those who were active, the total volume actually was up 13%. So, I guess they're kind of dwindling it down to their core audience, but that audience loves the product. And in last quarter, they had pretty strong earnings. Earnings were up 20% year over year, beat expectations by a few percent. And like I said, the volume was up. But you look at this stock from the summer of 2021 till now, it's gone from $310 to $65. I mean, that is rough. That is just. And I mean, the CEO talked about how there hasn't been much to celebrate the last few years, and that's obviously a big understatement. He also said that they're going to shock the world on Thursday at their innovation event, and he threw out pretty much every buzzword there is between global technology and AI and all kinds of stuff. So expectations are extremely high for this, And I'm more of a undersell, over deliver type of guy, but he's going all in here. So this Thursday better be really impressive. Ahead of that, though, I can tell you what the data looks like so far on PayPal and Venmo. It's just not great, frankly. You look at their web traffic data, and it's down 7% on a year-over-year basis. You compare that to two of their biggest competitors, Block and SoFi, and it's very clear why their stock has been cut by 3/4 or whatever the number is. It's just been destroyed over the last couple of years. Now I will say that when you look at this and you look at the mentions data also being down about 7 points year over year, most of that comes from PayPal, and Venmo is actually holding its own. So it's flat. It's not growing at the same pace as Square and SoFi, but it is sort of holding its own. So I think PayPal is sort of weighing down. The brand PayPal is weighing down on the company PayPal, whereas the brand Venmo is actually hanging in there, doing pretty well. I will say that overall, they have a tailwind behind them, a consumer sort of mega trend of the digital wallet. And, we've been on this for a year and a half, 2 years, the digital wallet. It is not going away. It's only accelerating. So they should be doing really well. And if you're going to bet on a company, you want to bet on a company with a tailwind, but you want to bet on the best company that's executing within that sector. And right now, that's definitely not PayPal. I will say that given what the stock has done, if you exclude the hype over the last little bit based on this innovation event, expectations are really low for this company. So it shouldn't be difficult to beat. But the earnings come, I think, 2 weeks after this innovation event. So really, I think a lot of the move is going to happen on Thursday when they're set to, quote, shock the world. They need to. And we'll have to see what happens there. Obviously, we don't have any insight into what they're planning, but I can just tell you that so far they've been underperforming.
New CEO, new business strategy, targeting small and medium business offerings. We all know what the stock has done. Here's my question. It's Venmo. Venmo seems to be the part of PayPal that really has gotten many more people using it. Old people I use Venmo, right? I don't know anyone, Landon, that has ever used Cash App. I don't know anything other than that. Us talking about it, I have no interaction with Cash App. I need your data is much more sophisticated than anything I could come up with. Tell me who's using Cash App and why isn't Venmo driving a much better price for this stock?
I honestly think the Cash App is for younger generation, and I'm gonna put myself with you, Kevin, in that I think I've had like 2 Cash App transactions in my life, and I've probably had, not joking, 5,000, 10,000 Venmo transactions. So I'm in the Venmo camp as well. I love the company. I was Andy and I were actually one of the first, I think we were in the first 100 user accounts. We knew some of the VCs that invested in that very early on. So I love Venmo, but yeah, so far it seems to be, the younger generation, like I'm talking like teens and young 20s using Cash App. And I think a lot of it had to do with their Friday giveaways that they did. They got a lot of users in there, and Venmo is it's simple, it's useful. I mean, it just gets the job done. But I'm sure there's room for innovation, and I want to see what they're planning to do. I hope that a lot of their innovation revolves around the things that you're talking about, competing with Square for the small business accounts, and competing with Cash App for the younger generation, the more easy to use, I guess, interface. I think Venmo's fine, but you've got to be able to compete with Cash App. So I don't have a problem with Venmo. I think it's a great product, very simple to use. There's not a lot that needs to be there, but the iPhone wasn't needed either, right? And if you build it, you can create demand. So maybe they've got something up their sleeve that's going to create new demand and get a lot of businesses and people with people coming over to the app Venmo. We'll see. I'm really looking forward to Thursday, frankly.
Yeah, he said that they made too many acquisitions a couple weeks ago during an interview. The new CEO, Alan Chris, he basically said, hey, we did too many acquisitions, cost us too much money, it didn't get monetized. He said he's going to put the strategy behind Venmo. You mentioned the Change the World type of innovation day that's expected on Thursday. Landon, when I look at your data, the mentions, the stock price is fully below what you guys have as far as that comparison chart. But is this one of those stocks that if they come out with something that's a little bit game-changing, because the stock's been beaten down, there might be a big short interest in here, that we could easily see the stock pop during Thursday's Innovation Day?
I think so. I mean, I think the risk here is that it's underwhelming and it's a sell the news. Right. And then you're back to the levels that it was trading at before. So I think the risk is limited to, a few points on the stock. But if it is sort of that game changer and they deliver as high as the expectations are, given what the stock has been through, yeah, absolutely. So I think that, your downside risk here is a few dollars, and your upside risk your upside potential is much, much larger than that. So I don't mind it as sort of a speculative play based on this event on Thursday. And I think really what's interesting about this is the timing of it is really going to move the shift the focus of investors from earnings on February 7th to this event on January 25th. So the earnings could be a lot less important. We'll see, but I think Thursday is going to be the play, and I definitely agree that the upside potential is worth the downside risk, because I think worst case it's a sell the news, and then you're high 50s maybe, yeah. Worst case, but this could run up through the 70s if something really great comes out.
Yeah, stock was trading just above 50 in October. It does have that ability to go down there. Deutsche Bank actually kind of agrees with you that the importance isn't the earnings on the 7th of February. It's going to be this Innovation Day, because that sets a tone for the next couple of years. All right, great stuff and great data as always, Landon. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, that's Landon Swan, co-founder at LikeFolio, breaking down PayPal. This is kind of why I wanted them to hit on this, because I knew they were having this Innovation Day. We've had some volatility in the stock over